So let's look at peace and how to create peace. There's been some rockets flying around Israel recently, and so the question of peace in Israel came up, and of course it's peace in Israel, but it's the same anywhere. How do you create peace between people or between countries? It's also the same whether it's between people or countries. So one of the big keys is to ask why. Why are people doing this? Why is this conflict happening? And when you ask why, you get some kind of idea of the needs behind the conflict. If you have a couple of kids and you ask them why are they squabbling, they might say, well, he started it. Or they might say, I want that orange, or something equally ridiculous. And you'll find that the countries, if you ask a country, you'll get similarly equally ridiculous answers. But that's why we keep asking why, and we ask why about the answers that we get, and eventually we get some good answers. So if you ask somebody and they tell you he started it, well then you say, why did he start it? And then maybe you get some answer that looks a little bit more internally about what's going on for them and what have they contributed. So you need to find out why, and you find sometimes you get some really interesting answers. In fact, you always find that the answers are not in conflict actually, and the two parties want completely different things, and it's often quite simple to solve the conflict. I have this concept that there is no conflict, it's only a misperception. We see conflict because we are looking for it, but if we look for the way that we can connect, then connections happen and we are able to find the synergy. So I don't know exactly what's happening in Israel at the moment, but these questions need to be asked. If you're keen to solve conflicts in Israel or in West Papua or wherever else there are conflicts going on, then you need to ask and answer these why questions. And when you answer a why question, it's not good enough to do anything that blames anyone. If you say that it's their fault if they're doing something bad, then you're not seeing the situation clearly. To see the situation clearly always comes from a deeply loving perspective where we understand that everybody has reasons behind what they're doing, and that they are doing their best. And so when we come from a truly compassionate understanding, then we can resolve things. We can see both sides and we can find ways to work together. So if you think that in West Papua the Indonesians are oppressing the West Papuans and it's the Indonesians' fault, then you can't solve the problem. You need to understand the pressures that are on the Indonesians that are causing them to act in this way. And is that religious pressures? Is that lack of education? Is that economic pressures? I don't know. And I've never heard anybody explain that clearly. And the same in Israel. Why are the different factions fighting against each other, and what do they actually want? And is there a way that this can be resolved? There always is. So those of you who are activists who want to make a difference in the world of conflict and peace, or those of you who want to create peace at home and in your relationships, then you need to ask why, and you need to answer why deeply. Try sharing with me and with others some of these whys, some of these answers that you get, and see if we can explore them and find deeper understandings together so that we can resolve all of these conflicts.